Mr. Ivan. What's the deal, man? The villain himself.
All right.
What you got, man? What you
Alright.
got?
So, Vanquish Soul Canine, very pure. None of the fancy stuff. We're not on the Umbral horrors.
All right.
Playing Vanquish Soul. I mean, just standard. Very standard. We have the 3 rosin, just the general starters. Same exact package in every single deck. 3 Xiaolong. I know some people are on 2. I don't agree with that. I think having a fire is nice. Plus, it puts on extra pressure. As it really like elevates, because what you can put in place is maybe not much. I think it's a really great card. Then just the 2, Borger, Caesar. I know some people are on 2 Borger, especially last format where you didn't have the canine cards. And Bastiles are super common. Bastiles don't really come up right now. Crow, they're probably not going to crow your Borger itself. Just be aware of the resource loop. Keep tagging them out.
Word.
That's pretty standard. Now, a lot of when Canine first came out, everyone was kind of like super excited to build these big Canine packages, but it kind of just feels like, like 1 Jokul, 3 Azuna, and then the Lupus. It's the most comfortable. Your deck is the most consistent that way. You don't have these like bricky hands where your only play is like going into like Ripper and then Valon and passing. That's not enough against most decks. Like they'll play through it pretty easily. And there's not that many things in the extra deck to go into really. It feels like rank 5 Ryzeal, except you don't have Detonator. So
Word. So slim.
So trap or spells also standard. 3 Stake, Field Spell, Rhoda. Just not every single Vanquish Soul has these right now. It's nothing particularly unique. Something that I think is super correct. Not a lot of. I feel like the best performing Vanquish Soul decks are on 3 Pot. And you kind of have to tailor your extra deck a little bit. Just see kind of what works for you. You can honestly play this card with whatever extra deck. Just make sure you have the 3 rocks. But this card is probably one of the best cards in the deck. It's so important, especially being able to go +1 right away. Droll's not really in the format right now. Definitely in sides in some places. If this gets Ash, then I guess you got an Ash. But it's totally fine. It doesn't, and what I like about it compared to Pot of Prosperity, like if it was theoretically at 3, it doesn't give away that much information. You kind of have only 1 point to activate it. You activate it just right away, and you always banish 6. So your weak points aren't being shown immediately as you play your first card.
Word.
Other than just the trap, best Vanquish Soul card besides Sue. Hand traps, very standard. Ash, you have to play it all the time. Charmies exist. Fua's best hand trap in the game. And then 2 Nib. The thing about Nibs right now, a lot of people don't like them because every deck builds Ripper. Yummy can play through Nib.
Yeah.
The only deck that this card doesn't really touch is Draco Tail, and Yummy will absolutely die to this card, especially if they open Obedience School.
Facts.
You kind of just win. you just wait for them to set all their cards. Like they're not going to any heralds. You're fine. They set all their cards. Their surprises face down. And then if they have 1 in hand, it has to be exactly cookie, or it won't matter. It has to be exactly cookie, because then you'll just punch into whatever they play. With your Nib, it just puts them in a really bad position. And at that point, especially if you're on Vanquish Soul, it's kind of an unrecoverable game for them because their resource loop is really bad.
Yeah.
And then 2 Crow, 2 Phantasme. Phantasme, probably the best hand trap against Yummy, besides, Fua. Fua's Fua, but having lets you correct your hand, draw 2, target negation, which is almost all of Yummy's effects.
It's everything.
Just punch into whatever you want, especially like if you and especially if you have like Nib and Phantasme in hand, you can Phantasme on your own turn because they'll have to recover into Snatchy and a body so they can even play the game. Just throw this down, and they're basically incapable of doing anything because you just go battle. You have 2 bodies. It's like 2 cards being able to entirely like dominate the Yummy matchup is crazy. And that's it for the hand traps. That's the main deck. And
40?
yep, straight 40.
Alright.
You gotta run 40. Only one hand trap in the game does anything, and if you gotta Sifu as much as possible. So, extra deck, very simple. 3 rock, because we're on the X-Trav. 3 Ripper. I used to be on 2, but it felt. I banished all my Rippers sometimes, and I was like, wow, this kind of sucks. And the card that I had before this was CXYZ Nash Knight, and honestly, it didn't really come up that much, so I kind of just, 3rd Ripper. We're on X-Trav anyway, so. Then just kind of match the trend. We're on the 2 Valon. It's not as good of a card, but it's really, really nice to see sometimes. There's some matchups where it's really great. It's really great against Yummy. It's really great against Vanquish Soul. And another reason why Xiaolong is great to see is because if one of your cards gets booked when you're playing against Yummy or by Valon, you could use Xiaolong's effect to flip it back up and attack. Do whatever you need to do. Then we kind of have the little Nash Knight package. I'm on 3 or 2 kind of targets, just so you can resolve this on turn 0, resolve this on your own turn, and it becomes a really, really big problem. If you're getting rid of 2 things, it does a lot. It's a really, really, really important card to play. And this is not super relevant to the deck profile, but there was this guy who played a remote duel regional, and he posted his deck list for everyone to see online, and he had Nash in it without any targets, and everyone realized this guy was cheating the whole time.
It's like, wait a second.
Yeah. And then SP, Typhon, Zeus, kind of just very standard. These usually see themselves in the face down banish pile, but it's not really a problem. Typhon can come up sometimes. Zeus, I actually don't. I think I've summoned Zeus once and he didn't resolve. And then SP's SP. SP is always a good card to have everywhere. And then the last card, Paradise. That has to be Paradise. I don't like going.
Steal 'em.
I don't like going into Paradise sometimes, because there's obviously you commit a lot of resources to it. There's ways to play around it. You usually got to make a Ripper first for Paradise to resolve, and it's usually a last. You get double Fula or you get double hand or double Perulate or whatever. Okay, I'm making this, but there's ways to deal with this. I know some Yummy decks or some Breaker Yummy decks, they have songs, which kind of clears this really easily. Lupus or not. Same thing with Ogre. Ogre doesn't really deal with it, but it kind of lets you FTK yourself going first, which, I don't know. But usually, if you went Field Spell and they don't Ogre it, I'm comfortable going with this, but usually if I'm even going into this card, I'm seeing nothing. They already resolved 3 hand traps. I'm losing the game if I don't resolve that. And then extra deck or side deck, also very, very standard. Shifter kills every deck but this one. Crystron, Dracotail, Yummy, just it can't hurt. You know what I mean? We're on 2 Crow in main. Shifter is just so nice. It's the same attribute. Throwing it in there is not a big problem, and it just deals with so many decks. I don't know. Insta-win floodgates are great.
Yeah, man.
3 Perulia, best hand trap of last format. Second best after Impulse, but this card isn't as good anymore. People thought it would be kind of good in the Vanquish Soul, but can't really run 6 Charmies in decks anymore. It's a lot of conflict. You don't really need to, it's not break-a-board format anymore. So if I get Perulia, if I'm on VS, I get hit with a Perulia, I can just play on their turn. I'll be fine most of the time. But 3 Perulia is also really nice to have. Just kind of keeps boards small. Even against Yummy, Yummy gives you no draws, but it kind of makes the board a little smaller, a bit easier to deal with, especially depending on your hand. But to be fair, I'm not putting this in against Yummy. This is mainly for if I want to deal with VS. Then 2 Contact C. It's kind of a homework check card. If they have cross shape, they have cross shape. But if they don't, this card does so much. They go Obedience School, summon cross shape, or summon Contact C, they don't have cross shape. You just win the game. It's an instant win card if they didn't do their homework, And the magic about Contact C is if everyone starts playing it, Yummy players will start playing cross shape, and when people start playing cross shape, nobody will play Contact C, and then people start cutting cross shape again. You know, so.
Yeah.
Then Retaliating C. Obviously, we're not on the OCG. This is not going to be searching you max C when it's dealt with, but it's still, again, another insta-win floodgate against Dragon Tail. D-Shifter is amazing. And the thing is, its summon is not like a once per turn, so if they bounce it with Tarthalion, just put it back on the field whenever they activate anything else.
I didn't know that. It's kind of dirty.
Yeah, so you got to pop it. So they kind of have to go into Gulamel immediately if they want to deal with this card. Like if they go like Rahu or something, you shoot this card straight away. They go into Gulamel, and then they kind of like resolve their things. And it could not, like there's cases where if you really have no other options in hand, but sometimes like there's cases where I'm like, playing against Dragotail, I resolve this card, they go into Gulamel, and they'll do their effects and try to chain Gulamel, and I'll have Holy Sue with no attributes, like it's not really going to do anything. I'll sometimes just chain Holy Sue, just not let them get the pop, really just like causes a lot of problems for them. And it stays on the field as well, so it does a lot. It does, can't use Crow after you use this card, but it's not a really big deal if everything's already banished. So then 3 Droll. Droll is like, it's whatever. It's like an okay card. Like everyone's on pots, so it's like decent against Vanquish Soul. That's really the only time I put it in, unless it's like maybe I'm playing Mitsurugi Rising or something. But you always have to keep it in. Mitsurugi Rising is just too good, you know.
Yeah. And they search a million times.
Then we have the broken one-ofs, talents. I mean, it's fucking talents. It's really fucking good. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
And then called by hits a lot of things. Called by going second. I'll keep this in. Against Yummy, hit Snatchy. Feels really, really nice, especially when they can't do anything. And most of the time, it's usually a very decent trade, because surprise is a really, really big problem, especially if you're getting in, like obviously they've burned through some of their engine, stopping your first few pushes, and maybe you have like one left. Maybe you got like Jokul, real Xiaowang or something. You can play a little bit, get some work done, and surprise really just ends you there. You just straight in main, or maybe if you can just get rid of surprise. This kind of trades 1-for-1 with surprise. You just hit Snatchy. They can't necessarily do anything, especially if it's on attack. I want to do it right away because they'll just tag out with one of their synchros. But if they're tagging out with one of their synchros, shoot this, get one of their hit one of their Snatchies, and they have to burn surprise, or they just lose the game on the spot. And then the 2 other insta-win floodgates, because floodgates are awesome. Anti-spell, really awesome card. Does a lot of work, especially against Dracotail. This really is just like they need, if you open this card in conjunction with literally anything that isn't like 2 Crow, 2 Phantasme against, I mean you're not keeping in Phantasme, but like 2 Crow, 2 whatever, like garbage cards. If you open like any play with this card, you kind of just instant win against Dracotail. You insulate yourself against Yummy, you insulate yourself against Surprise, their field spells. It's just a really, really great card, and it doesn't hurt you at all. The only spell you're really worried about using is Staker Soul, and chances are, if you had it in your hand, you would already resolved it. And if you draw it for turn, or once your engine gets going, you don't have to worry about it. And Peekaboo, awesome card. I love this card against Yummy.
Yeah.
They kind of just insta lose, but there's a reason it's at 1. But that's not gonna stop me from playing it because there's really no better options. And there's a notable absence from this side is that there is no Lancia. And everyone was thinking that, well, we got to keep in Lancia because Malice is going to be a big problem in this format. Realistically, not really. Malice still loses to the Holisu FTK. And if you're able to obviously resolve that, you don't necessarily even need it. Especially their Link 3 is the biggest problem with Malice last format is you needed a billion Charmies and Lancia to play against Malice, because once they got their Link 3 on board, they kind of had this infinite grind game that you couldn't deal with. But fortunately, now, Nash Knight exists. Nash Knight, take whatever. And now they're burning one of their traps. they're always wasting their resources on trying to prevent you from resolving that Nash Knight. And then again, that Nash Knight is going to resolve on your turn because we have the 2 targets for it, Sound on Dark and Arc, and it's going to hit it really nicely. So I don't think Landscape is like super necessary. We cannot do the same against Mitsurugi Raizio. Like if you against Detonator, you can't attach Detonator. He's just going to pop Nash. Can't really do it to Murakumo. It's very easy for them to get him off the field and come back and wipe your board. But so that's why we keep the Droll. Plus Droll is a bit more splashable. There's a lot of smaller decks you might come across that really die to this. A lot of people are playing White Forest again because there's less Droll in the format. So it comes up. White Forest is, especially in Vanquish Soul isn't really a deck that puts up like the gates or anything. So it's very easy for, if you don't have these kinds of floodgates, it's very easy for your opponent to just overwhelm you with the amount of pushes they have. And as you focus on that resource loop or that grind game, you need things that kind of stop your opponent from outgrinding you or building a board so big that you can't even deal with it, especially if you're going first. Like my game plan against decks like Yummy that are super explosive off of nothing, like super consistent, super explosive, is like I'm not gonna OTK them. I'm just gonna play through like whatever they have, try and survive, and after like a turn or two, like I'm in a winning position. If they aren't able to, if they go first and they're not able to kill me on the snapback, you probably just win the game against Yummy. Like they probably have burned both their quick plays. They've gone through a lot. It's very easy to start dealing with that field spell once you have Caesar in rotation. Especially even going second against Yummy. I know it's a brick. Trap is a brick. I like to have it because they still can't deal with it if you're able to, because they can't kill you on their first turn. So you can just set it down in your second turn, get the attributes, and just outgrind them. It's really nice. But yeah, that's what it is. Super small in terms of K9 cards. Bare minimum. K9 cards are bricky. They're powerful, but I don't think it's super necessary for this deck because it's already so high power. And yeah, Vanquish Soul rocks.
Yeah, man, it definitely does. I appreciate you, Ivan.
Sure.
Thanks, man.